All right, here we go. We're live, people.
Hi,
IGN's
Boston.
in the
How you doing,
IGN's in the
Boston?
grid at 617. Coming to you from Boston, Southwest Quincy, Massachusetts. Boston is right here, 7 miles to downtown Boston. I got my lovely guests from the UK, England, Krista. I got Krista and
Deborah.
thank you very much, dear.
Yeah.
We got Anthony, and we got the man down there. I just seen you pop in.
Shane.
I'm sorry, brother.
Shane.
One more time.
Hi, everyone.
Shane.
Good to be a part of
It's
this.
good to see all you guys. I couldn't be more grateful to be part of this fight for free Jason Moore. As you can see, the hashtag free Jason Moore on the screen. That will not leave until he is freed.
Exactly. We need to fight for him.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
We will fight. We will fight. So, Krista, you're the head of all this that brought me into this. All these people, you didn't ask us. We you know.
Yeah, absolutely, and I was really surprised.
We just volunteered because what's right is right, and we got a lot of prosecutors who have egos. Can never fight their way out of a wet paper bag with 2 rips in it. And I say it right to their freaking face, and they know it. They know it right here, too. Like, putting innocent people in prison, especially when they know they don't have the scratch, the money, to have important people. It is a disgrace. It's putrid. It's putrid. I'm talking to you prosecutors out there with egos that never had power in your life. You never even want to fight when you're in first grade. So, of course, this is going to happen. Guess what? If you're a real man or a real woman, you admit you're wrong. It's called humility. It's a huge character trait, like loyalty, like courageousness, courage. Without liquid courage, real courage, right? There's iced coffee, okay? Listen, all of you out there will be exposed. But guess what? You guys are covered by the law. You don't have to do time for making a mistake. This kid didn't even do it, making no mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes in my life when I was young, and I did the time for it. I never cried about it but I seen people like this man right here, innocent. And
it could happen.
I almost want to cry.
Can I just have this? It could happen to anybody. It could happen to who's ever out there watching. Your son, your daughter, your mother. It could happen. It happens. I never thought this could happen until it happened into my life.
Yeah.
My life. It happened, and it tore everybody, our family. It's in bits. It's torn my auntie, Kirstie's mom, Jason's mom is in bits. Dad in bits. It's not right.
No, it's not right. No. So,
and that's the thing. Sorry, go on, Kirstie.
England,
so, we'd just like to say a big thank you to you, because actually the way that we came across each other, Robert, is you actually contacted me, and you did that through Facebook. So can I just say, how did you hear about the Free Jason Moore campaign?
I go on Facebook in the morning, just wish people happy birthdays, and that's it. And the first thing it was the first thing on the what's it called?
On your roll.
Yeah,
where everyone posts everything. Where everyone posts everything. I usually don't go on there, but it just popped up, and I looked into it. I'm like, man, and then I investigated a little bit, and then I just seen all the love there, and your mother, and his wife, right? So I was like, I see it so much here. I'm like, let me see what's going on with this case. You know what I mean? Just let me read into it.
That's fantastic, because what that tells us is that, with the help of Shane here and Anthony and the family and everybody else that's involved in this campaign, it's fantastic, because as you said, we're here in the UK, and for us, our objective is to get this story known throughout the world. So to have you calling us from Boston, wanting to know more about this case, is just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
so we say thank you for that.
Yeah,
thank you. But it's just doing the right thing by good people. That's all it is.
Right. So for your audience and for everybody that's watching in America, thanks for being here. And
they will watch. They will watch after too, just to let you know.
So what is this all about? Well, basically what this is all about is in 2013, my brother, Jason Moore, received a life sentence for a stabbing, a murder that he didn't do. And his co-accused, who was actually the guy that stabbed the guy, was acquitted. So we've been here for the last 9 years going through legal routes to try and put this terrible wrong right. And unfortunately, it's not going very well. So back in November of last year, we all got together and we decided that, you know, it was about time that the public knew that, you know, one, an innocent man is languishing in prison, but two, like Deborah said, this can happen to anybody. And we know it can happen to anybody because it happened to us. And every minute of every day is so painful, so heart-wrenching, and so full of worry, anxiety, and pain that, you know, everybody needs to know that if you are innocent and you get convicted, doesn't matter how it happens, every member of your family is all of a sudden is going to be doing that life sentence with you.
Yeah, they're doing that time with you. You're right. Yeah, absolutely correct.
So, you know, so that's what this is all about. And we need America to get behind us. And there's several reasons for that. And like you said, our justice systems are different in places, but they're not that different.
No, they're not that different.
America are allies of the UK. And here in the UK, history with America, you know, we go back, you know, a couple of wars and so on and so on. And we're reaching out and asking you to please get behind us, to go on Facebook, to go on freejasonmoore.com.
Sign the petition.
Read the evidence. Read about what we're saying. If you can get involved in this case, please get in touch. You know, anything you can do. Everybody's got a talent. Please help us by putting your talent to use, because we're all out here doing the best we can, but we need to get this campaign bigger and louder and, you know, and all come together, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings.
Yep. And it's an innocent man there in jail that doesn't deserve to be there, that is rotting away.
No,
he doesn't.
So we are the only one, the public, that can get him out.
So we all of a sudden, you know, we're shy. We don't want to be in front of a camera. We don't want our photo taken, but we have to overcome all our personal issues for one reason, for the right reason. And that's what every one of us has done. So, you know, I couldn't be more proud of everybody involved in this campaign so far.
We're proud of you. We're proud of you too.
So, yeah, so that's why we're here and that's why we're talking to you. So if you've got any questions for us, we'll be glad to answer them.
Thank you so much. Anthony, would you like to rebound off that, my man? And then we'll have the man down there.
Yes.
You know,
See, the problem with the UK justice system is that basically Jason's lucky that Jason's got his family backing it for him, because when I say there's a lot of people stuck in the system that have no family, you know, so in a sense Jason's lucky he's got his family fighting for him. But this, if we can open the doors on this one case, that answers to a lot of other cases, do you know what I mean, which is what is important here. You know, if we can shine light on one case and get the system exposed for its corruption, because there is an awful lot of corruption going on. You've got pathologists here, you've got dodgy coppers doing funny interviews. It's laughable when you see it, but then you've got the man serving.
They think they're slick, Anthony. They're cute.
And then you've got the man doing a life sentence behind the door. It's when I sit there, and it brings me back to when I was younger, because like pretty much like yourself, I was a naughty boy when I was younger too, and I've done a lot of jail myself, you know. But I come through the other end of that, and I myself was stitched up. You know what I mean? I myself got stitched up. So I know the system is fully. It's not geared up to help us. It's geared to it's a business, isn't it?
It's a business.
The more people you put in prison, the more money they make. And it's the whole system in the whole. It's like the social services, the care system. Their business is kids, prison, their business is prisoners. And the old bill are the ones that stuff all the prisoners in there. Do you know what I mean? And unfortunately for us, the members of the public, we're the ones that have to suffer when this shit happens, you know? And it's going back to what Kirstie was saying a few weeks ago. It's the system is geared up to put you in there, but it's not geared up to get you out. you know,
No,
and the whole system in itself is it's not fit for purpose, you know. And the guys that are innocent, they make it so difficult for them to even get a fair hearing, with their own lies, their own manipulation. It makes it near enough impossible for the guys that are innocent to actually have a fair trial. It's crackers, man.
We worked it out, didn't we, Anthony? We worked it out the other day, and through what Anthony knows and through what I know, we came to the conclusion that the justice system is designed for you to give up after 4 years.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, by the time you give up, your parents have sold the house.
Yeah.
There's no savings left.
Yeah.
Everything is gone.
Yeah.
And I think
the justice is a pain of green. And I know Anthony can attest to this. If he's done time, he knows like I know. Like,
yeah. And I was just saying the other day, we have something here called legal aid. I'm not sure how it is in the States.
No, same thing. Same thing. Yep, they have it here.
Legal aid here is probably like the NHS.
Yeah.
So you would need to go private. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know what it is. This stretch. Let's be honest. This stretch thin. They're trying to do the right thing, but the
one thing about the UK at the moment is if you are NHS, whether you go to the dentist or the doctor, you can't get an appointment. You can't get treatment. So you would need to go private. So that's where it all comes down to money, you know. So like we said, 4 years, either you're going to tell your loved one, listen, I can't do this anymore, or your loved one is going to be so tired of watching you kill yourself, sell everything, you know, overwork yourself, that they're going to say, listen, get on with your life. I can't do this to you anymore. Yeah. That's a big point, you know. And I go to prisons quite regularly, obviously. And the people, the stories I get back from them, they just can't do it anymore. They just can't do it. And they don't have the means to do it. So if you're innocent and you don't have the means, or you don't have like people that can dedicate themselves to you and your miscarriage, because the amount of paperwork, the letter writing, it's endless. It's endless. It never stops. I think to myself sometimes, God, when I'm going to finish this will be the end of it. As soon as I finish that, I've got another load of shit to do. It's tiring and it takes your life. So I want to know that if this happens, this is what you're going to get. So I think the system.
Whoever wants to rebound, go ahead. All ears, please. Go ahead.
Sorry, Anthony.
Sorry, go on. So basically, what can I say? So going back to the prison system, like the reason why I say it's a business as well is because obviously the amount of money they make, it just goes down to money at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, $33,000 a day. $33,000 a day per prisoner here.
That's crazy.
For private prisons.
That's crazy.
Private.
Wow.
Hey, Anthony, you know the food is horrible there. I never even ate that food. Thank God I had money on the outside, you know?
Yeah.
It's horrible.
You know, like,
it's horrible.
Where Shane's from? Shane's from South London. It is. I'm correct in it. South London, isn't it, Shane?
So East London, but I have a lot of friends around South as well.
So he knows what the old bill are like around there as well. Do you know what I mean? And the corruption that goes on, the people that get victimized and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's exactly the same in the States as it is in the UK. No different.
Actually, East London is really
bad. It's probably worse actually in East London, isn't it? To be fair.
Yeah, it is, because we got more guns here in the United States than any other country. You know what I mean? On the streets, and it's most people, you know, just keep a gun in their house. If someone breaks in their house, you know what I mean? Yeah. Put a gun to their face and they're gonna walk out of your house. You know what I mean? But not everyone. Most people that shoot guns, like, they take an oath. Okay, this is what I never understood. Like the feds going after the mafia, Italian, Irish mafias. Those were soldiers they were killing. They weren't killing innocent people. Those are people, soldiers. Okay, it seems like when you have more power than the government, or you have equal power to the government, because this happened to my union right now. I'm a slave, okay? We had a lot of power. They go after even my businessman. He wasn't no criminal. He did fucking 68 months. 68 months in the feds, you know, just because he was the boss. Yeah. But it was me and two other guys. A guy sucker punched him, and we went there and slapped the kid around, just slapped him around. You know what I mean? Just because you sucker punching a boss that you just shook his hand, agreed on something, you sucker punch him. And then my boss pulled out his gun. He's ready to shoot him. He would have probably did life for that if he shot him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he called me, and this is right after I fractured I fell 14 feet, bringing my German Shepherds up the back stairs. I grabbed the rail and it gave. I went over my Shepherd, 14 feet on my head. 2 days later, I wake up in the hospital, pulling the tubes out of my mouth, looking at my family, my wife, my in-laws, my mother's side.
Wow.
And they told me, what happened. I had a 50-50 chance of living. And I was out on bail for the union thing, okay? 8 months later, one of my co-defendants, a pro fighter, his father trained me too. He died of an overdose. He was taking the time. If anyone had to do time with this case, he was going to take it because me and our ex-boss, business manager, have kids. You know what I mean? And he said he'd do the time. You know what I mean? And he died. And I walked into court, and my business manager's lawyers saying, "Listen, Robert, we got you guys can blame it on Sigliano today, and you guys will walk out of here." I go, hold on.
Yeah.
I go, I wouldn't even go against my enemies. Never mind my dear friend, and the dirt's not even dry over his casket. Now there's 4 lawyers here and prosecutors. They all know this is true. Okay, this is in the papers, everything, right? So I can feel my friend's subconscious saying, "Do it, Robbie, do it. You just fracture your skull, this, that." I go, no. I said, first of all, don't ever say that to me again. I said, this exact words. I said, 99% of your people would probably fold on their friggin' people. I'm loyalty is wrong to the day I don't ever want to hear those words out of your mouth. I looked at my $30,000 man. Go get me something I can do with this and get me a stay of execution. And he came out, and finally it was a 2 years, 6 months of service. So the worst thing I would have did was 5 months or 3 months on parole. You know what I mean? And that's what happened. 3 months parole. I didn't have to turn myself in. This was in October 2003. I didn't have to turn myself in 2004. Now, prior to that, 10 years prior, I haven't been in prison. You know what I mean? So I smartened the fuck up. You know what I mean? Around 25. You know what I mean? Once my daughter was born, I seen a whole different perspective on life, And
that's what's key, the ability to change as well. So, but even me myself, just being able to witness the amount of corruption that's going on, it's almost like certain things that you see in the films and things like that. So and the fact that what you were saying earlier, the fact that their mistakes a lot of the time aren't punishable. So when you see the amount of mistakes that's being made, because Anthony has shown me a good few swings, and there's so many mistakes that's being made, and just to get some more eyes on it and to be seen, and just to be looked at again, but people don't want to admit fault. That's a big issue.
Humility, right? Humility. It's a huge character trait for all of us.
Well, funny, in this case,
you are correct there, brother. You are correct.
In this case, there was so many. If you want to call them mistakes, you can call them mistakes. But when you get so many of them,
they're on purpose mistakes.
It only makes you think that it's corruption.
I get you.
Because you're always trying to say, well, everybody can make a mistake at work. Not everybody's 100% in their work.
We're human. We're human.
Exactly.
We're meant
the
to
thing
make
is, though, if you make a mistake, own your shit.
Yeah.
Own your shit.
Exactly.
Own your shit. You know what I mean? Own it, man.
When it's something that can be so costly, another man's life, another woman's life, human being.
Thank you.
There has to be a kind of process where it's more easy to get things looked at again, retrials, and just to admit certain things. But obviously, the more things like this that happen, they're going to be losing a lot of trust, as if to say a human being that's losing so many years of their life without their family isn't important. Of course, that's important. That's a human being that is innocent.
They don't care.
What's the maddest thing?
Back to an example. If I was to give you this example for your viewers, if you have, because
these are your viewers too. Just to let you know, these are your viewers too. I promise you that they're your viewers too.
I feel being in this, is that I can't use the word corruption. And the reason I can't use that word corruption is because I can't be seen in my position to start throwing accusations, right?
Yeah.
But what I can say is this. I can say that in this case, Jason was wearing an Adidas top with 3 stripes down the sleeve with a hood when he left his home address. After the incident, he was seen on CCTV wearing exactly the same garment. And when I was looking at the case files, the officer that was reviewing the CCTV with her own pen wrote down Jason wearing an Adidas top with 3 stripes, etc., right? So you've got CCTV, and her handwritten note. They also had an eyewitness that said he was wearing exactly the same clothes. Yeah. The police know that the man who stabbed this man was wearing a blue zip-up jacket. Yeah. Now, that can't be a mistake.
No, it ain't. With
CCTV well, that's incompetence if it is. It's incompetence if it's a mistake.
Yeah.
Well, so, this is like that.
And this is another thing as well. This is not just a little case. This is the highest highest crime you can get in our country, man.
Yeah.
This is equivalent to
mistake.
This is a life. Yeah, and if this had been in the States now or Texas or something like that, you'd be on a death penalty right now. Potentially have been already served and been put to death, you know. So this is what needs to be highlighted in the UK, that this is madness.
But how many little cases go along like this? They do not have a Kirstie behind it. How many of them? But it is. No, it's about people.
It's the same with the Birmingham 6, I believe it is, isn't it?
Yes,
but some people don't have you to.
No, it's not about that. What it is about what we said earlier. It comes to a point where the families have to give up.
Yes,
because they don't have the means.
Yes,
it's not that they want to give up. It's that they're forced to, and that is the justice system. It's designed so you give up.
Get you to give up. You're right.
And some of these cases, you know, you're talking about the people that I've met at prison. You're talking about people's mums and dads. Then they might be too old. They might be too sick. You're talking about brothers and sisters that are now married with 3 kids of their own. And they just don't have the time. That's what it's all about. It's not about the people don't want to do it.
That's not what it's saying. It's people that cannot, like you, that have fought. Well, she has fought for Jason. Let me tell you, fought tooth and nail. Yeah. Tooth and nail. But what I'm saying in the bigger picture, Kirstie, is
the picture is, if we can fix this system,
then
these people will not have to fight because it will be a fair system.
Exactly.
And that's one thing I will say about America. In America, if you want disclosure, you can go to the courthouse and they will give it to you. In this country, they won't give it to you. And
we have due process here. You're right. We have due process. You're right. We
fight for an innocent man if they won't give you the evidence that you know they have. There's a difference between this country and your country, and it's not you should get all the disclosure. You should have
but even in this country, they don't give up evidence even to lawyers sometimes. You know,
and
these prosecutors, they think all they want to do is just get higher and higher in the chain of command, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, they don't give a fuck who they hurt.
Yeah, and that's true.
All right, okay, it's a power grab, whatever, because they never had power growing up. That's what most politicians are. Let's not shit on all the politicians because we know there are some good ones that actually give a fuck. You know what I mean? But the majority don't. And I'll say it right to their face too. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how this fucking comes out. If they see it, I don't care because I'll say it right to their face. Yeah. So maybe I can say this stuff for you. You know what I mean? And Anthony too, and the young man down there that spoke up. I love to hear it. I love to hear courageous people come out. And like you said, it can happen to anybody. And the thing is, never to give up, never sell your soul, especially if you're innocent. Even if they offer you freedom, if you admit to it, don't admit to it. Go to the law library if you don't have family and start learning the law. I've heard extraordinary stories about guys that took them 20 years to get out. And fighting the CIA and all kinds of powerful movements, and they did it. You know what I mean? And they couldn't even read or write. So there is no can't, there's only can. And tough times don't last, tough people do. It's really, really true. And Jason's poem, if you don't get inspired by that poem and by what these ladies are doing, Krista, I want you to read that. And
I'm going to read it to you now. Are you ready?
Yeah, I would like, please, everyone, listen to this. And I got a picture of the poem I'm going to share.
It's called A Rise of a Broken Man. You've taken my life. It wasn't yours to take. You've broken my heart. It wasn't yours to break. You've stolen my spirit. It wasn't yours to steal. Now I'm a tortured soul that I might never heal. I'm in prison now, a broken man left to die. I stare at the ceiling as days pass by. Left in tatters, dream destroyed. I stare at the heavens, very annoyed. I'm in darkness now, going through hell. Life is passing me by as I rot in a cell. In this living hell, where I did do nothing wrong, I must find a way to keep me strong. I stare at the sky and I shout, why me? I was once happy and above all free. But something within the depths of this man has awoken. It's pleading with me, don't stay broken. It's pleading with me, stay alive as long as you can. It pleads with me, stand a man. I've lost me. Hold on. No. The tears of despair, the tears that say life isn't fair. As once a broken man in a prison, surrounded by sin, my new attitude now is never give in. I will mend my heart and find my soul. I will get my spirit back and become whole. Sorry. Now my spirit says, hold on. Now my heart is beating strong. I have found my soul, and to my surprise, a once broken man has begun to rise. Once starved of inspiration and looking at defeat, this new broken man doesn't know when he's beat. I will stare down the demons. I will find the light. When I come across evil, I will fight. I will put up a fight, sorry. And when I'm finally free of the prison, the world will know a broken man has risen. That's my cousin that is in jail.
It is amazing.
That is powerful. It. From a man.
That's very powerful, man.
Who we went on a podcast yesterday, and the man said to Kirstie, how does Jason feel? And she said, well, I've never been in jail, but he's just, and he did this the last, how long?
You wrote it 2 days ago.
2 days ago, because, you know, how can you say that's how he feels, a free man that's not done nothing. This is how he feels.
It's horrendous. It is absolutely horrendous, man. That is still in there. And, you know, going back some years, I remember that pressure of looking at a big sentence, not being guilty of the crime, and them trying to give me a substantial. And this is what the judge actually said. This young man was looking at a very large, substantial custodial sentence, and that is for a crime I didn't do. So Jason's been away there now 9 years. How does he feel, mate? You know, you know.
Why is
I can't even imagine it.
Yeah.
But why is
enough? One of the questions, you know, when you answer the phone and you go, "Oh, hi," most people go, "How are you?"
Yeah.
Hi, you okay?
Yeah.
Well, every time I answer the phone to Jason, I have to like stop myself because that question. You know?
Okay.
But what she said.
That poem. I didn't mean to interrupt you at all. The poem. He went from a dark place to a light place. So obviously, God has filled him with
with power.
You know what I mean? Some power.
Strength.
Some power.
Yeah.
But actually,
so maybe he might be having good days. A good day, even though he'd much rather be home and be free. But for right now, he's sane. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's a bit more than that because you know.
Oh, it's a lot more than that. Yeah, go ahead, please.
I can tell you when it changed, if you like, because obviously Jason was in prison he's been there for 9.5 years. He'll be 10 years this Christmas. And, I was always too scared to kind of like, I think Anthony will agree with this. When you're in prison, you do have highs and lows. Yeah. But when you talk to your loved ones, you don't want to let them know that you're not good, and you don't want to let them know that you're good, because it's like an even kill, because you can't be one thing and not the other. If you
don't want to worry your family either, So
exactly.
So I would find out more about Jason through people that are coming out of prison. Yeah. I mean, our last protest, we had Michael, who had spent time in prison with Jason and had just come out, and we got more sense of how he was in prison through him than through Jason, because Jason's always looking out for us and we're always looking out for him, so you never get that true story. But since November, when we had the first event, I talk about these guys. I say, I spoke to Anthony's thinking of doing this. I spoke to Shane, came down the courts and did the filming for us, took the photos, so we don't have to worry about the papers and so on. So Jason is kind of with these guys through me. And when he found out, well, which one's that again? And I'll go, well, that's Anthony, and this is this one, and this is this one, and all the rest of it. Well, he is, I think, flabbergasted about the support that he's never even met. And it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
It's the right thing to do. And if this doesn't pull your heart in the right place, I don't know what to tell you. You're lost, so you need to go find yourself somewhere. You need to get something good in your life.
What should be coming next? Hopefully we get some good.
I think.
Oh, we're gonna do that.
Yeah,
it gives him hope. All of us give him hope.
And I think
hope is all you need. Hope is a big thing.
That's it. Yeah.
But with all of
these
coming on now, with these two,
and I think the fact that he can sense things are happening. People turning up at demonstrations. Yeah, people are fighting. He can see the fight. When I remember when we got our first article in a national newspaper, I called up the local post office and I said, "Can you send 10 copies in?" Because the headline was the brother of my forget what the actual headline was, but something, because that's a key part of this case. The victim's family have been campaigning for Jason's release because they know it's for 9.5 years,
and that says so much.
And where do you hear that?
I've
never heard of a case.
That says a lot, both of you. You guys are all right. That says so much.
Can I say, you people there in America, can you please, all we need is you behind us.
Here it is.
Free Jason Moore.
Yeah.
This is what it says. I don't know if your viewers can see it. It says, "Man jailed for killing my brother, didn't do it. He must be free." Yeah. That's the victim's family.
And that's the victim's family. Like that says all that needs to be said, really. I mean,
that's everything.
It's massive. It's absolutely crazy and never heard of. So what we're going to be doing next is
most families, like victims' families, they want to shoot the brick walking, in the courtroom.
Yeah, that's right.
So that is
that's right.
Huge.
Yeah, it's true. And do you know all the other factors as well, man? I don't know how this has gone on for as long as it has. It's just 10 years? It's crazy,
almost
man. It's
10 years
absolutely crazy. Right? Hopefully, once we've finished our production on the Jason Moore, the full campaign, hopefully we'll get some more eyes on it, but be able to show the public within detail the full breakdown of every single aspect of this case.
Awesome
we're gonna, which is great, which is mad awesome. About it as well. With Kirstie as well, obviously, the people that are involved in this, we've got major people. Now, I know a whistleblower that was involved with the Metropolitan Police for over 30 years. He left the Metropolitan Police Force. Yeah, he left the Metropolitan Police Force because of corruption. He actually was a whistleblower, and they destroyed his fucking life for it. Yeah, they sacked him. They tried to get his kids put in children's services, and this was a police officer that was actually working in Scotland Yard, and he is going to be talking in detail about the levels of corruption. See, in the police force, this shit comes
Very
with
brave man,
levels.
Anthony, huh?
There's levels to this, you know, and
there is levels. You're right.
When you've got someone who understands the full system and breaks it down for you, this is what we're going to give the public, which is going to show that this police force is rotten, mate. It's rotten, and it's badly rotten,
Anthony, because I spent 3 years with Metropolitan Police detectives that had 200 murders under their belt. And they went through the whole of Jason's case files, and every one of those detectives said, this is a miscarriage of justice. Jason Moore didn't do this. Now that's incredible.
How much more does it take?
Go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
No. I was just saying, evidence upon evidence upon evidence, but yet still things aren't being looked at correctly as they should. So it just goes to show they're too protected as a force. I mean, you must be able to, you know, if you work for the public, they're supposed to be serving us at the end of the day.
People,
but you should still be able to be looked at and scrutinized if there are so many red flags. And as Kirstie was saying, it's not mistakes. It can't just be mistakes. It's purposefully done to hide certain levels of to just show that they are no, we can't be wrong. We can't be seen as being wrong, because then it's going to take away whatever. So
on the line of what Shane was just talking about there, I just want to give you one more piece of information about this case.
Off each other. That's the way we do it. Go ahead.
In this case, there was two witnesses, and one of those witnesses turned out to, in the end, become the chief prosecution witness in this case.
Of course.
He
was get himself out of trouble, right?
Well, I'm not sure, but I can tell you what happened. I can tell you that he became the chief prosecution witness in this case, and I can probably tell you, you know, he was 97% responsible for Jason's conviction. And what was really strange for us is we couldn't understand his evidence, because none of it made any sense. 1 minute it was up the road, then he was down the road across the street. He was drawing pictures on the other side of the road. He was a Somalian guy that was new to this country. He wasn't offered an interpreter. So for like a good 7-8 years, up until just recently, we went back to the Court of Appeal and were turned away because of this man. And part of our appeal was, you know, you need to review this man's evidence. We went to the CCRC and we said, can you re-interview this man, et cetera, and that was denied. And the investigative journalist that helped me do this podcast, or did the podcast for Newsquest over here in the UK, he went and spoke to him, and he told him that on the morning, which was 10:30 on a Wednesday morning, he was drunk. He was asked if he told the police, and he said that he did. But the police never told us that. So you can imagine if a judge jury had heard that evidence, perhaps they wouldn't have been so reliant on
case.
Reasonable doubt, right? There's no, if there's a little bit of reasonable doubt, you cannot convict someone if there's a little tiny bit. That's a huge amount.
Well, the thing is,
he didn't stop there, because not only did he say he was drunk, he said it was in the blink of an eye. And he said he could have been mistaken. You've got us going to the Court of Appeal in 2017, to the CCRC just 2 years ago. Jason spent all that time because they wouldn't listen to what we were saying. Had they have listened to what we were saying and spoken to this man, they would have got the information that would have exonerated Jason. So, you know, I mean, and it's an example. But that comes down to police disclosure. The police didn't want us to know that he was drunk, because the judge would never have let him give it. And
I'm sorry, Krista. How does a judge not get an interpreter in there for someone that doesn't speak English or whatever? How can you put someone behind bars for life with an eyewitness and you can't even understand what he's saying?
And that is just one of the factors. in this case. That's just one.
That's just one little. You're right. That's just one little bit of incompetence, but that's a huge. But it's all incompetence. It's all incompetence. It's all politics. They all stick together. I understand this. Okay, there's nothing wrong with sticking together, but do the right thing. If you made a mistake, do the right thing. And like the more and more we talk about this, and the more and more this gets out there, the momentum, it's gonna happen. The more people that do this and have the courage to speak up, eventually it will happen. Like I hope it happens. I hope it happens tomorrow. I hope it happens fucking this week. But it will happen. It will happen.
Well, there you go. So we've given you a glimmer into what's going on over here, and
But we want all of you guys to free Jason Moore on your phones. Get up there, free Jason Moore. Look on the website. Look at that. Sign a petition. You don't have to pay. Ask you for money. You skip that, and we just need you all to share this. Innocent man, we need to get out. We need all of you to help us with this.
Yeah. And we'll be so grateful.
And thank you for everybody. Thank you for all your help.
And with your permission, we'll come and speak to you. Yeah. I was just saying that with your permission, perhaps we'll come and speak to you again in a month or two and let you know how we're getting on.
Anytime. Anytime. Let me ask you guys something. Is there anything you would like to ask Anthony or the young man down there that's so gracefully joined too? I respect both of you men for jumping in here and what you guys are doing too. Everything you guys are doing. I'm sure you guys are in the fight. You know what I mean? We're all here because of your work. Because of your work up there. And not only that, it's the free Jason Moore. An innocent person that's, from what his friend said, he's never even been in a fight in his life. So for someone that's never been in a fight in their life, they go stab someone and kill somebody at 10 in the fucking morning, it just doesn't add up to me. I'm sorry. It don't. But it doesn't even even with a person that was too comfortable in chaos, right?
Yeah.
Even with me, I would be reluctant to kill somebody. I would have to have the right reason to do it.
Yeah. Well, all the information that we've talked about here tonight, me, Shane, and Anthony, and Deborah, is all available at freejasonmoore.com. My email, if anyone wants to get in touch with me, is freejasonmoore@gmail.com. We have a petition running at change.org/# Free Jason Moore. We can be found at Free Jason Moore on Facebook and all the, the TikToks and all the rest of it that goes on these days. So
join the Facebook group.
Yeah, we can be. That would be smashing if people would join the Facebook group. It's me and Twitter as well. Facebook seems to be able, for me personally, to give more information to everybody.
You're right. You're right. It does.
Yeah, please.
It does.
Come and get behind this campaign. We post regularly. We always stay true to our campaigners, put it that way. And we've got lots of things going on to raise more awareness. And again, we're not just doing this for Jason. We're doing it for everybody. Because it can happen to anybody.
Yeah,
it can happen to anybody. Exactly. It can. Yep.
And like Shane says, things are getting worse out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, please, all who are watching, the support.
Yeah, can you speak on this down there in England? Like you know England a little bit, don't you?
Yeah.
Now I hear it's pretty bad down there with knives and kniving and all that because they're not shooting each other, they're stabbing each other, right?
Yeah, it's quite terrible to be honest because a lot of the people see each other as enemies in regards to like there's only one person that can be successful or one person that can do this or do that. And I've been discriminated against myself and guns held up against me for just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And that's by the police. It's not by my peers or people in the area. So because something happened in a certain area, I was driving there, and then a bunch of police stopped me, and they said, "Do I have anyone in the boot holding up MP5s?" But anyway, it's not really about that too tough. But I just wanted to show the level of corruption that there's a lot of quick to judge actions that are being made in regards to, you know, just guesswork, a lot of guesswork. But yeah, it is a bit like that down here as well in this country. So there just needs to be a lot of change. There needs to be a lot of change. And
the reason I was asking him is because like MF Doom is one of my favorite rappers. God bless his soul. Rest in peace, MF Doom. So he lived there. He lived there. He lived there, and he was saying how much he loved England. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like because the hoods here, you know, the cities here in America, we have big cities. You know.
Yeah.
But when you have people struggling with money, and you know, you're gonna have drugs, you're gonna have crime, you're gonna have, you know, you're gonna have, you know, places where people drink, they get liquid courage, they think they're tougher than they really are, they make a stupid mistake or whatever. This ain't a stupid mistake this kid did. He didn't do it. You know what I mean?
There's just
and the evidence is there so clearly. But he's right. They target everybody. The police target everybody.
Well, funny enough, me and Anthony had this chat the other day, and it was actually, you know, Anthony and Shane would know more than I would. And I actually said to Anthony, I said, you know what? I said, all I get is letters about knife crime over here and what's happened to their family and their 14-year-old boy and their 15-year-old boy. And I said to Anthony, you know, perhaps if they turned it round, this was my suggestion, just a suggestion, perhaps if they turned it round and instead of looking at what would happen before someone got stabbed, let's look at what would happen after they get stabbed, and not just them, their families, and so on and so on and so on. And actually, Anthony told me
it affects so many people. You're right.
It won't work because it's the attitude, not the doing. I'm pretty sure that the attitude, the education system has got to change because these
people need mentors too. Mentorship. You know
generational change is what we need. Generational change, I believe.
Generational change.
This country used to have, you know, this country used to have safe places for kids to go. They used to have youth centers. They used to have boxing places, and so on and so on and so on. They used to have after-school football, and so on and so on and so on.
Yeah.
But now these kids have got nowhere to go.
That's right.
They took that on. That's how I became a drug dealer, because they took I was winning Little League championships. They took all sports out of junior high and called it middle school. And that's when my dreams of being a baseball player, a football player went right out the road, right out my head. And it's all about making money and getting respected and fear.
You had to survive, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know,
you could say that these kids are doing the same thing. But the problem is, these kids, you've got kids. There's two sides of a story going on with this knife crime, because you've got kids that are the perpetrators and you've got the kids that are being bullied and so on and so on.
Manipulated. Yep, they're manipulated. Yep.
These kids that are not into all that kind of stuff and they're just defending themselves. When you go into a court of law, your history.
No law,
It doesn't matter.
You look like a vicious old school Viking that used to walk into villages and just decapitate people. That's the way they look at you. You're absolutely correct.
Exactly right.
All my fights as a teenager were all self-defense versus grown men coming out drunk and thinking they can mess with us. You know what I mean?
When you go in front of that jury, they don't know your history. They don't know that you sat in the library and studied 8 hours a day, or that you're on the street corners terrorizing people. You're just two people. So again, it's whatever you can afford and the best lawyers and so on and so on.
Well,
so
there's like 18 sides to every story too. It's not just one or two sides. It's 18, 20 sides.
Do you know what it is as well, though, with the UK system as well? It's obviously there's one thing I don't there's lots of things I don't agree with in the system, but especially when it comes to like your court cases and stuff like that. Well, say for instance you get done for a robbery and you've been convicted of robbery in the past, you can't turn around and say, "Oh, I wouldn't do a crime like that," because they use that against you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they use everything against you in a court of law, and that's what it says. I can't remember the actual full lingo of it, but everything they use against you, nothing is there for you. It's all piled up against you. So,
as if to say you can never change.
Yeah.
People can change. That's where they're wrong. And
but in Jason's case, Jason's not done nothing wrong, which is the maddest thing about it, and this is what the hardest thing to get your head around. Where obviously, when I was younger, I was out on the street and I was doing what I used to be a right little geezer, yeah. But like Jason's not done that. So when I was doing my gel, when I was eating my porridge, yeah, and I was okay with that because I knew I'd done wrong. I knew I can do this. Was my punishment. I'm gonna get out, bam, bam. I'm gonna live my life. But for Jason, it's not the same because this geezer's now been lifed off. He's already halfway through a sentence. You can't get back them fucking years. Do you know? You can't get them years back, and the justice system ain't gonna help you give you anything. It's just madness. This is what is important, that if we can get as many people over in the States to share, just keep sharing, keep exposing the British justice system, because that's what this is. It's the whole system is run by a bunch of nonsense, mate. And it's the truth, mate. Like, and I believe this in my heart and soul, innit? Yeah, you've got to look at prime ministers that are protecting paedophiles. You've got fucking. This is facts, yeah.
Thank you. They protect pedophiles more than anybody.
Yeah, man. And this is no joke, innit? Like this. So, like the guy that's going to be doing the documentary with myself and Kirstie used to expose paedophiles. Yeah, this was his job. He used to expose paedophiles and high up paedophiles, politician paedophiles. Yeah, and they used to cut him down and it all comes from above. It all comes from the politicians. And when this documentary goes out, yeah, about Jason, yeah, there's going to be so much more stuff that you're going to see about this system. It's just going to. So
you did time with him, Anthony? You were doing
no,
time
I
with
never
Jason?
Done time with Jason. I didn't know myself. I've done a lot of time when I was younger because I used to. I grew up in the system.
I didn't know if you did time with him while you were doing time.
So with my own story was I grew up in the care system. So I grew up at a very young age in the system. I went into care, the children's services.
I was in DYS and juvie like you, the same thing.
Yeah,
13,
and then
14,
obviously
15, same thing.
Yeah, and I progressed through the care system, the prison system, and I've done in total 13. I've done just under 13 years in care and just over 12 years in prison.
And that was all together.
Yeah, so and that was all by the age of 25. So
and that, same with me. Same 13 to 26. Yep.
Yeah, so
off and on. You know,
where will this I can't stand things like this. Injustice is madness. Do you know what I mean? But the system is.
Anthony, it's like people like us that need that were bad. Well, that broke the law. Maybe we weren't bad. Maybe we were just products of our environment.
I just call it a surviving, man.
Products of our environment. You know.
Do you know what I mean?
Now, here's the funny thing: people don't understand, Anthony. I don't know. I think you can relate to this, Anthony, and maybe all of you can relate to this. When I grew up born in '71, you either had to be respected or feared.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. I don't know if that's the same with you guys, but if not, you're average nobody and you got no respect or whatever. Yeah. And that doesn't. I know now that doesn't mean you ain't nobody. Everybody is somebody. Everybody is somebody. I don't care if you're tough, you're courageous. Even if I say a coward dies 1,000 deaths, I believe a coward dies 1,000,000 deaths, probably even more than that. Okay. Yeah. You should never be scared to speak your mind. That's why I do this independently. I'll never have a sponsor tell me what to freaking say, anything like that, because it's brutally honest. I'm not scared of the law. I'm not scared of none of them. I'm not scared of them. And I know you're not scared. I know you're not scared. And I definitely know Krista ain't scared. What you're doing, Krista, and Jason's sister, his wife, all he is. But Krista, the one that got it going, I got to give you the flowers here, and I'm going to give you all flowers, right? And I think you guys are going to understand. Like, a lot of people listen to this. I showed you, Krista. I showed you, my analytics. I just learned technology not even 2 years ago, right? Just learning, right? Doing hack jobs, right? Because I was running 8 different water tunnels in Massachusetts. I was running shifts on those jobs. You know what I mean? So when everyone else was learning technology, I was running 500-foot shafts that go down to the bottom of the shaft, and then we're mining with tunnel boring machines, 12 miles one way, 9 miles the other way. So, I had so much responsibility and so many 150 men's lives in my hands. So I had all the responsibility to get them down and get them out 8 hours later and get them to their families, to make really good money. doing that work, you should get paid a lot of money. You know what I mean? So I just want to give you the flowers, Kirstie. I want to give you the flowers for what you're doing for your brother and for his wife, for your mother, your sisters, Anthony, coming in here speaking facts. The young man in the middle here. I keep forgetting your name, brother, but I'm sorry.
Shane.
It's not on purpose, bro. No, not on purpose. I want you to know I respect you so much for joining this too. I really do, man. Like, we
appreciate
understand.
You for giving us the avenue.
Us guys in here, us men, we understand the system fully. These ladies, these they have hearts of friggin' gold, and we all have hearts.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you read that poem and you don't come to tears a little bit, crying does not make you any less of a friggin' man. Trust me. Some men need to cry. You need to cry to get that bullshit out of you. Like, that's why I got to beat myself up every day for 2 hours to get all the demons out of my mind. Like, there's like 7 devils on everyone's shoulder. Everyone don't realize this. 7 devils, and there's 8 angels over here. You know what I mean? And devils speaking on one side of your ear, and the angels are speaking on the other. And you gotta. That's why God gave us 2 ears to listen, and 1 mouth to bounce off of ideas or whatever. Teamwork makes the dream work. It really does. So the more people that are hearing this in the audio form of the podcast, I get a lot of listens there. YouTube, it's picking up. You know what I mean? Because they know real recognize real. It takes a little longer. They shadow ban me because I am real. You know what I mean? And I don't have no problem. You know what I mean? You're the hero here, Kirstie. I keep saying.
I think the hero here is Jason. Jason's
Jason's the ultimate hero, and that's when he gets out, people are going to see how much of a hero this person is.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're absolutely right. He is the hero. He is.
Yeah.
But what you've done, you should get your flowers for this. Honestly.
Thank you so much.
You get it from us. You know what I mean?
But time is running out over this way. So thanks ever so much. We appreciate everything.
Thanks for giving us this platform to share.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Stay in contact, definitely, and we'll keep in contact.
We'll come back and we'll speak to you again in a month or so.
Yeah.
We'll do it whenever. We'll do it weekly if you want. I don't care because I do a lot of things with fights and all that stuff. But listen, I'll always take time for you guys. I promise.
Brilliant.
I'll always take time for you. On my kids.
And thank you for reaching out to us. We really appreciate it.
Take care. Thank you for listening, my brother. Take care.
All the best,
everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching as well. All right, take care, everyone. Bye, Kirstie.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Right. Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much, all of you, man. Like so much.
Thanks for the platform. Appreciate it.
No problem, brother. No, anytime, bro. Anytime. What good people, man. Pulse, Palman, thank you. Share this, Pulse. Palman, Pulse, I know you know what this is about. I know you understand this injustice here in Houston. I'm sure you know plenty of friends or you know plenty of people that were definitely freaking profiled, you know what I mean? And fucking they fucked with the owner of fucking Rap-A-Lot Records in down there in the 5th Ward, the Ghetto Boys. I forget his name, but I seen how they tried to fuck with him. You know what I mean? But I've seen this so much. You know, I've seen this so much. I'm not bitching. We need law and order. We need this system, okay? But there's a few bad apples. And all they got to do is just admit they're freaking wrong. That's all they got to do. That's it. And listen, it ain't going to hurt your political career. What it's going to do, it's going to make people trust you more. And people in general, like all of us people, it doesn't matter if you made mistakes or not. It doesn't freaking matter. I mean, if you haven't made mistakes, good for you, but no one is perfect. I don't care what anyone says out there. No one is perfect. I always wanted to use this platform for the right reasons, talking about fights and playing good epic music and stuff like that. That's all great. And I always throw a little clip in there at the end of my workouts and training just to motivate people, you know, see me with my fractured skull and my spine's all messed up. Every disc is going different, right? It's just to prove to people, even during the shutdown, I was out there running, you know, showing you people, be brave. You know what I mean? And no one ever messed with me. You know what I mean? Even the cops, like they really don't mess with me, even though I slapped the cop's brother around during a union dispute back in 2001. I think they thought it was personal with the police, but it had nothing to do with the police at all. It had nothing to do with the police. So, listen, and here's the problem with the cops. There's really good cops out there that actually take that job very serious. They see a lot of horrific shit. They see a lot of horrible shit. They're first on the scene all the time. So this ain't going out bad to all cops out there. All prosecutors ain't bad. All most judges are pretty freaking competent. They would not get that job unless they were proven. You know what I mean? Usually that's the case. But there is politics and everything, people. In life, that's why I don't get involved with DC politics. I see people arguing about Trump and Biden. I'm like, you guys are all idiots. You guys are all idiots. There's no cure for stupid. And that's my my old producer's name of his second or third album, who produced my first two albums. You know, shout out to Dickie Skins, because he's so right. That's like the best quote, the best album. You know, the title of an album could be my third album coming out. I'm gonna keep it still my third album that I started in 2016. It's called Anger of a Bastard Child. It was like I grew up without a father. Now, this kid, Jason, didn't grow up. He had family that love him and everything. And what she said is really true. This could happen to anybody. If you think you can't be got, anyone can be got. Trust me, anyone can be got. If you don't think that out there, you're lying to yourself. You're playing a big, fat joke on yourself, because sometimes bad luck just hits people. It's like a black fucking plague or a black shadow of fucking unluckiness or whatever. Karma. People that talk shit and there's never no fucking consequences for it, right? See, where I grew up, there's consequences for talking shit. Not online, not on the internet. The internet is great, though. It's a beautiful thing, because I get to talk to people from England. I got friends in Australia, England, New Zealand, all over the world, and all over the states too. Every state. I mean, we all think the same for the most part, all of us. You know, I don't like communist freaking countries because of their governments. I love the people there, though. I feel for those people. I mean, it's all propaganda. And people that watch the media, and listen, Walter Cronkite and people like that, Howard Cosell, like, these are people that really like did journalism. You know, journalism is going out there on a limb. How about the journalists that go to wars and shit? You know, they're not guaranteed a fucking plane ride home, you know, alive. They're going there and going in with battalions and platoons. And the platoons are trying to protect the friggin' people that are getting the stories. And those people I respect. You know what I mean? I don't respect these media companies that take, you know, sponsorships and they're paid, you know, to just go with a narrative or, you know, to sell a product to make money. You know what I mean? Everybody has a price, right? Like, I guess, who used to say that? Everybody has a price. I think that's a famous historical quote anyways. Not everybody. I have to disagree. If someone offered me $100 million right now, right, to represent like a shitbag company that hurts people, I would tell them to stick it up there. You know what? You know, I would. No way. I'm not selling my soul, not for money, because I've already made money like easily. You know what I mean? And I made a lot of money really hard, you know, with, you know, working. I have really good work ethics. This kid, Jason, I hope gets out sooner than later. You will get out, Jason Moore. I'm going to keep this free Jason Moore. I'm going to keep it up there, hashtag free Jason Moore, until the day you are freed, sir. And not only that, I'll keep it up after, just so you can see it, okay? And you will see it. You'll be able to see it. When you get out, I'll tell you, kid, you have a knack for writing, and it's really beautiful. This poem, I'm going to read this poem again. I'm going to read this poem one more time, because I asked Kirstie if she wanted to read it, or if it made her upset, like, you know, tears, you know, from her brother, I would have read it for her, you know what I mean? But I think it helps her to do that, to get the tears out and stuff like that. Don't judge these people. They're good people. And you can't be judged anyways. The only people that can judge you is gods that we believe in, right? Gods. There must be other gods too, you know what I mean? There must be. But we're here for a reason, you know what I mean? If you don't feel that spirituality once in a while, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. And I'm a true savage. Like, I could switch like this. A half a second, someone hurt my wife and kids, you're going to see the other side of me. You definitely don't want to see the other side of me because I train for it every freaking day. And I've already been there and done that and some. So I don't want to, this isn't about me. It's about Jason Moore. Jason Moore, when you get out, and you will get out, brother, because there are good people out there. And good always defeats evil. Even if it, unfortunately, 10 years, for this young man, it really bothers me that this kid and other people, I'm going to give you another example. There's other examples out there. Some people do 20 years, 29 years, 30 years, and then they get found, the truth comes out. So don't lose hope out there, Jason Moore. Please don't lose hope. You got your sister, your sisters, your wife, your mother. I mean, they're all there for you when you get home, and you're going to have a lot of new friends too. You know what I mean? We're going to be here for you. And when you're freed, you're going to be, I think you're going to be a friggin' poet. You know what I mean? Like that poetry right there. And this is coming from a guy that writes music and writes. It's very touching, that poem. And I think that poem can reach people that are innocent out there in other prison systems and other county facilities or whatever, private county facilities. And, because there is like a 3-year, 2-year, 3-year here in America, before you go to trial. So you're sitting, and at least you get that time added to your sentence or whatever, time served or whatever. But if you don't have money, I was lucky. I had a really good lawyer in the beginning, like unbelievably. I was very lucky. And I still respect that person to this day, Beverly Canoni. She saved my life. Like, she was responsible for me seeing my first kid born. I could not thank her, and Don McClay and Bob Arnaz. These were my intensive and adult probation officers at 13 years old. They are always good to me. You know what I mean? Very good. They're just doing their jobs, you know what I mean? But very, very, very honest. They definitely weren't corrupt, you know what I mean? And I just wish that people could admit when they're wrong. It doesn't matter where you are. These prosecutors for this case, just admit you're wrong. You put the wrong man in prison. Everyone will respect you. Yeah, people might be mad for a little bit, but time heals all wounds. And anyone that knows that is Jason Moore, right? He's done almost 10 years in this. 10 years of his life for something he didn't do. Prosecutor, I don't even know your name. I'm not going to put your name out there right now. I'll let that happen over time, over the next couple of weeks, because I plan on going to see some people, judges that I look up to and I respect myself because I know they helped me when I was a young teenager and just a cowboy, you know what I mean? And people can change. So whoever says that out there, stop saying that. That's not fucking true. There's good people out there in this world. And sometimes you need to fail to succeed. So with me, it was like, I think like all the counselors when I was in DYS and juvie, I was 13, 14, 15, 16. I'd go away for 2 weeks. I'd come back home. Same shit, right? But I would always learn lessons from that stuff. You know what I mean? And they would always tell me, you're going to prison. You're going to end up in prison. It's just your attitude. You don't like, they were right. I'd always tell them, you'll never see that. You'll never see, I know too much. And I ended up in prison, 19 years old. So, but I wasn't innocent. I was definitely guilty. You know what I mean? And for someone to be thrown in there, being not guilty of something and not even having an inch or a little bit of, fights happen at bars and stuff like that, or whatever, when people are drinking. And like I said, there's 28 sides or 16 sides. I don't even know the exact number, but there's not 2 sides to every story. There's a lot more than that. Believe me. And it usually takes two to tango. So, domestic abuse out there, I can honestly say I've never had that with my wife in almost 32 years. I mean, I listen to my wife. Like most men, all of us, we're all knuckleheads, right? Usually it takes a good woman. And every time I would listen to her, it would turn out exactly like she said it would. So, I just the loyalty my wife has shown to me, like when my daughter was born, my first kid, right? 38 hours of labor, like I cut the umbilical cord. Listen, it changed me. It changed my perspective on living, because I never thought I was gonna live till 30. I was partying and selling drugs like a rock star. I was hanging around adults at 13, 14, 15 years old. All my friends are older than me. You know what I mean? All my friends, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 years older than me. I worked for a lot of the old school, the bookies and all that stuff when I was a young kid, because I was a hustler. You know what I mean? And I was a tough kid. So they need guys like that. Everybody does. And we weren't doing really bad at all. I mean, selling drugs, selling joints of weed, that's legal now. I never thought it was a bad thing back then. So I respect those people so much that I would not smoke weed in front of them. You know what I mean? But this is what helps me. I don't drink. I don't have, I haven't had a hangover in 22 years. It's March 3rd of 2001 was my wedding with me and my wife. And we've been together since February 29th of 1992. It was a leap year. It was right when I got out of my first state prison. But I asked God to send me an angel. And guess what? Sent me an angel. I don't know if it's a he or a she or an entity. You know what God is? I think it's an entity. I don't think it's a guy in the sky with long hair and a beard. I don't know what God is, because I've never seen him yet. But I feel him inside me for some reason. I don't preach God to nobody. I really don't. But I just know there's something out there. I've done mushrooms. I want to go do the toad, the Saharan Desert toad, or whatever it is that Mike Tyson did, and all those guys. It's an ego death. You see all the things you did wrong in your life, and then you see all the good that you're gonna do in your life, and you come out without no ego. I've seen it happen. I've seen it with Mike Tyson. I know how Mike Tyson is, and my stories are like 10 times more crazier than his. And his stories are pretty freaking crazy. So, everyone can change out there. But innocent people should never be in prison. If they're going to pick people to freaking blackmail and put in prison, put a person that's been in prison before. You know what I mean? Honestly. Like, you're putting a guy away that's never been in a fight. The victim's family has said this kid did not do it. So there's someone out there that did it, right? And that motherfucker owes this man and this person's family a huge, huge apology. And I don't even know if that's good enough. But you know what? It'll make you feel better, dude, out there, whoever the hell you are. And I'm not going to dry snitch on that shit. That shit's going to come out. So do wherever you are. I would freaking start running right now, because there's no way to run to. There's nowhere to hide. Like, no way. Not these days. Not these days. Jason, I said I was going to do this to your sister, and I'm going to read one thing from the Jesus Listens. This is what pot does for me. It makes me humble. And that's what the mushrooms have done for me back in the days. And once in a great while during the summer, watching fights, I'll take a little bit of mushrooms, but it's very rare. You know what I mean? But it does humble me. It makes me realize that if all the world leaders and prosecutors, like on this case, took mushrooms, you would realize you would see a lot of love. If you put like all world leaders in a room with alcohol, there's going to be fights, egos, all kinds of shit. You put them all in a room with pot, they'll all be hugging each other, loving each other. You put them all in there with mushrooms, they will friggin' have a whole different outlook on life. And it's going to be for the better. It's never going to be for the worse. Okay. Jason, my man, they're in England, UK, whatever prison you're in. I just want to make sure I read a prayer for you for today, brother. And I'm going to say prayers for you every day. I've already been saying a few prayers for you, to be honest. But I'm going to say some more for you every single freaking day till you're freed. All right. We got the 25th. Okay. We got the June 25th here, people. Okay. This is a way you can read the Bible and understand it. Understand it. I've read it 3 times, the Bible. I understand it, but not really. You know what I mean? So I got to keep my real father actually sent me this. I didn't meet my real father until I was 32 years old. He almost met a left hook when I met him. If it wasn't my uncle Stevie, he would have met a left hook. Because I was ashamed and I had anger in me, all because I always thought to myself, why wouldn't a father want to see his son kicking ass in freaking Little League baseball and kicking ass in life? You know what I mean? Like as an athlete, as a friend, all the friends I had back then, 70 of them are gone way too young. They all died really young. And these guys were savages. You know what I mean? Really tough kids. Savage is not a bad word. Savage means tough and loyal. And loyalty is another huge character trait. And that's what Kirstie shows so much for her brother. And it's amazing. I just love to see the love. I really do. And Jason, we will not stop Jason Ward till you are freed, my man. So I'm going to read this passage here. I actually put this off for myself too. So I get some meaning out of this. You get some meaning out. Hopefully your family gets some meaning out of this. And the 2 young men in there that joined us, I respect you guys so much for joining us. And shout out to you guys. I hope this helps you guys too in some way. June 25th, Sunday. Merciful Jesus. Let's see. Okay, let's run it. I want to lean on you more and more. Only you know the full extent of my weakness, and your powerful presence meets me at that very place. Your strength and my weakness fit together perfectly in a beautiful pattern designed long before my birth. In fact, your words tell me that your power shows itself most effectively in weakness. Unfortunately, we all have a little bit of weakness. Unfortunately, I'll even admit that. Like, even savages have a little bit of weakness. You know what I mean? Whenever I'm feeling inadequate or overwhelmed, like you've seen the young ladies there, right? Very overwhelmed. I love being able to lean on you, Lord, right? You remind me that I am more than adequate when I rely on you to strengthen me. I rejoice in your encouraging words from Scripture. I take hold of your right hand and say to you, do not fear, I will help you. Now, there's just a couple sentences here left. Listen to me, people. Do not fear nothing, ever. If you do fear something, face those fears, and you will realize that you have nothing to fear about at all. But use your brain. Common sense. That's all it takes. Common sense. You don't have to be a genius to figure this out. I was kicked out of school in 8th grade. I already knew how to read and write very well. I was trigonometry in 6th grade math. I was good with numbers, knew American history, knew the world history. I just knew these teachers weren't going to be able to teach me anything I didn't already know. But maybe that was my mistake. Who knows? So don't fear nothing. Whatever you do, Jason, more. Do not fear nothing. Even when I feel competent to handle something myself, I need to depend on you. I know you are infinitely wise. Please guide my thinking as I make plans and decisions. I'm thankful that leaning on you builds bonds of intimacy with you, the one who will never leave me or forsake me. In your wise, comforting name, Lord Jesus, Father God, Mother of Mary, St. John, St. Jude, the Saint of Healing, please heal Jason Moore's heart and his psychological wounds. You know what I mean? Because it's not a pretty place, prison. for me, it was like it was like a freaking reunion from Julie. I ran 10, 15 kids walked up to me right when they walked in. Yeah, another solid white guy. So you had camaraderie there, right? But it's not a place I ever wanted to be. And it's a place I knew that I was better than prison. You know what I mean? But I made mistakes, so I had to go do my time for the society. You know what I mean? We're lucky enough that I was lucky enough. I was lucky enough that people believed in me. And I don't think I proved them wrong. I don't think I proved them wrong at all. This is Corinthians 12:9, Philippians 4:13, Isaiah 41:13, and Deuteronomy 31:6. See, there's certain chapters I know like off the top of my head, but it's things like this that you learn. So you just read one page a day. It helps you understand the Bible a little bit better. That's what it does. I read the Bible 3 times, and those old Hebrew words and stuff, it's hard to understand it. Like I read thousands of books. I can understand, and I couldn't wait to read the next page. So I can understand a lot of really smart people. Okay. And there's another quote for Jason, for you too, and for everybody. If you're the smartest man in the room, and this comes from one of my mentor's younger brother, who's kind of like a mentor to me too, in some ways. If you're the smartest man in the room, you're in the wrong room. Always surround yourself with kind, non-selfish people. Don't put squares in your circle, and not everyone has to be the courageous hero. All right. There's room for people that are scared. That's fine. I'll teach you that you don't have to be scared. I'll teach you how to be a friggin' savage, how to never care what people think. And as long as you're doing the right thing, no one can judge you. No one can judge you. That's for you, Jason, and myself, and everyone else out there. Never fear nothing. I already known this since I was a young kid. I don't fear nothing. I really don't. I don't fear nobody. I don't fear nothing. But Jason isn't built like that, like in the beginning of all this, okay? So this is where the injustice is. Like for guys like me, I was comfortable in chaos, so you couldn't do nothing to hurt me back then. You know what I mean? But when you're in front of a judge, the toughest guys, you get butterflies in your stomach. Now, I wasn't crying or nothing like that. I was no poor me, because I know I did wrong. But I definitely said yes, sir, no, sir, and all of that. The worst thing you can do is talk shit to a judge. And you idiots out there that are self-defense, I know it's all self-defense. I'm giving you guys some education here. Listen to a guy that's older than you. You rappers out there that put your friggin' your crimes run on fucking videos. What do you think the feds are going to think? What do you think they're going to think? They're going to just follow. You know, they have a lot of smart people working on them. I told the feds to fuck themselves 5 times because I know my business manager is not a fucking criminal. I just got out of time for, it was a very political thing back then. I just got out doing the time for, because I wouldn't tell him God bless my dead friend, right? And I wouldn't blame it on him. I definitely slapped the kid around, and I definitely went to his house to slap him around. He was on the front porch on a phone laughing about how he sucker punched his business manager too. He was in our union. So it wasn't just some random guy come up and sucker punching our fucker after he shook his hand. No, he was a union member with us. And the cops and his cousin just became cops in this city. So cops look out for each other. Just like we look out for our business managers, we stick together. Just like England and America are sticking together on this, we will stick together. Good people will always stick together. Even if we have to do it a hard way or a rough way, because that's just the way life is, people here. Like it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. And people don't understand this. You younger generation don't understand this shit. And that's why you people out there, you might think I'm cringe or whatever the fuck, right? I'm just old school. I grew up in a totally different fucking mentality. And it's good. It's good. I like this new generation. I just think you guys need a little bit more courage and stop being scared. Everything else you guys do is pretty freaking good. You know what I mean? So salute to the generation, the younger generation. Jason Moore, damn it, man. I just want to read your poem because I think it's so inspiring. And then I'm going to end this, and I'm going to put this, this is going to be put on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, all podcasts, Podcast Addict. I don't know how many, there's so many of them. I can't even shout them all out. But thank you to Anchor and Spotify for always promoting my audio versions of the podcast, and I appreciate it. You know, I really do. So let me get Jason's poem here. It's right behind, the poem is right behind all of us this whole time. But I'm gonna, I put it up on Facebook. I think I shared it on Facebook. I'm gonna share it on Twitter and Instagram because that's only 3 things that I'm hooked up to. And I don't even go on there. Maybe a couple times a week or when I'm sharing my stuff. It's the only time I go on there. But I do it enough weekly where anyone can never doubt my friggin' my work ethic. Because I have a lot of work ethic. And I've always been a hard worker. But I want to, this is about Jason. I want to get Jason's, oh yeah, I got it right here. Okay. Rise of a Broken Man. Hashtag free Jason Moore. Jason free is F-R-E-E, obviously, right, people? Jason, J-A-S-O-N. Moore, his last name, M-O-O-R-E. Rise of a Broken Man. This is from an innocent person in prison right now for almost 10 years. And Christmas will be 10 years. So I guess we got to get this kid out before Christmas. Hopefully we get him out this week. Hopefully we get him out tomorrow. By Jason Moore, Rise of a Broken Man. You have taken my life. It wasn't yours to take. You have broken my heart. It wasn't yours to break. You stole my spirit. It wasn't yours to steal. Now I am a tortured soul that may never heal. In prison now, a broken man left to die. I stare at the ceiling as days pass me by. Life in tatters, dreams destroyed. I stare at the heavens, very annoyed. I'm in a darkness now, going through hell. Life passes me by as I rot in this cell. In this living hell where I didn't do anything wrong. I must find a way to be strong. I'm glad you did, kid. I stare at the sky and shout, why me? Very good question, Jason. I was once happy and above all, free. But something within the depths of me has awoken. It's pleaded with me. Don't stay broken. Wow. It's pleading with me. Stay alive any way you can. It pleads with me. Stand a man. Stand a man. Basically, stand up like a man. Be a man. Man the fuck up, right? Here in America, that's what that means. So I will now wipe away the tears of anger, the tears of despair, the tears that say life isn't fair. As a once broken man in prison, surrounded by sin, my new attitude is never give in. I will mend my heart and find my soul. I will get my spirit back and become whole. Now my spirit says, hold on. Now my heart, it beats strong. I found my soul And to my surprise, a once broken man has begun to rise. Wow. Powerful. It's not over. Once starved of inspiration and looking at defeat, this new broken man doesn't know when he is beat. I will stare down the demons. I will find the light. When I come across evil, I will put up a fight. And when I am finally free of this prison, the whole world will know a broken man has risen. Jason Moore, you got me fucking crying tears again. You are a special man, my friend. And this will stay up to you free. Hashtag free Jason Moore. Anyone out there, if you don't find any inspiration in that, I strongly suggest you walk in a church on a day when there's no one there or something, and go in there and try to find your spirituality in some way. You know, when I walk home from the gym, sometimes I won't go, but sometimes I'll take a right and go to the church. I played baseball for where I got married when my kids were christened and baptized. And I go in there when no one's there. I go into the front row. I kneel in front of the cross that's way up there and all the beautiful work that they do inside churches. I sit in the front row. I put the thing down. I get on my knees. I just ask God, keep me and my wife and my kids very healthy, and everyone out there in the world healthy, safe, and just the good things in life. You know what I mean? And anything that God, this is why I usually try to tell people, God never gives us more than we can handle. Never. And some people, sometimes I question God about his sense of humor. You know what I mean? When I see little kids with cancer, leukemia, I'm befuddled. You know what I mean? I'm like, usually I can figure things out like that. You know what I mean? I can make the right decision on split. This is what they teach Marines, where I tried to go in the Marines. They teach you quick, decisive decisions. So you have to make the right decision really quick. And this is what like special ops go through, and this is like military stuff, right? But I went to boot camp in prison. I did it like my last 4 months. I had I had 8 months left to go. And I did it for 4 months because I know, even though I had discipline, even though I was already trained and doing all that stuff all my life, since I was a kid. I always played sports, always worked out, always boxing, all of it, lifting weights, all of it. But I wanted to go there and do 4 months and just to make my wife proud and my daughter, even though she didn't know, she was still a baby. I wanted to, make my peers see that a different Robbie was come out of this state bid, because listen, prison don't make you better. It makes you worse. If you're already a bad person, it makes you worse. You gotta fix you. You know what I mean? You gotta realize that this ain't a fucking place I want to spend the rest of my life. So Jason Moore, we're here for you, buddy. Your sister, she's your angel, and we're all just gonna help her, your wife, your mother, and we're all gonna do what's right for you. I will not give up on you, bro. I will not fold. Your sister is welcome on this platform any freaking time. Please subscribe and like, because I don't ask that often. It's at the bottom of the screen. Just like and smash. If you want the truth, if you want real things that are really happening, I'm not no freaking what's it called? I'm not no journalist, but I do want to talk to good people and smarter people that inspired me. You know what I mean? To do right and to do good and to make albums and to work hard. Be a leader, not a follower. You know what I mean? I'm very much a leader. I've been a leader a long time. You know what I mean? So I was probably 17 years old. I started becoming a leader. You know what I mean? When I was really working with older men, you know what I mean? And older friends. I always looked up to them. Then around 17, it clicked. I'm like, man, I'm smarter than all these guys. And they don't even realize it. And I didn't realize it. You know what I mean? So, but shout out to my friends, because they always have my back. I'm not shitting on my friends at all. I'm just saying what happened to me, how I felt I was confident when I was a young kid, but I just looked up the older kids. And then I stopped looking up to them and just embraced them. You know what I mean? Because I knew I was training hard when no one ever knew I was training. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I had to find myself too. You know what I mean? Jason Moore, I'm so happy you found yourself. I'm so happy you found courage and the where for it all, or there's a word I'm looking for. It's at the tip of my tongue, but it's something like that. But you found your courage and you found even though you probably already had it, you just didn't realize it, because we all do. Sometimes it takes, God will send you a very powerful message. I've never seen that light like people, talk about. But I definitely know it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. These people are great, great people. And I just want to see them happy. I want to see Jason Moore freed. I want to see his sister, his wife, his mother, the young lady that was beside her, the two men down there, all of us to be having a beer. Maybe I'll fly to England with my wife and shit, and we'll have a couple beers together or something, or a nice dinner together or something. I don't have to drink, me, myself, but I would toast a few beers for that man. Yeah, I don't go to AA. I don't go to NA. I did that on my own. I don't need that stuff. You know what I mean? I don't need someone telling me how to do something. I know how to do it. I already had my fun. You know what I mean? It wasn't hard for me. The medication was hard for me. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. 64 months coming up on July 8th. Anyone out there struggling with painkillers and breakthrough painkillers and Xanax and all that stuff, see, I fell on my head 14 feet, so I actually needed that medication. It actually worked for me and helped me go back to work and back to training and everything, all that stuff, and raised another kid with my daughter. My son was born 10 and a half years after this injury. He was born. I always think things are preordained like that. You know what I mean? I think everything happens for a reason. Unfortunately, some people have to go through a lot of shit. God puts them to the test. I think that's what's happening with Jason Moore. I really believe that. That's what I believe in my heart. I believe he's definitely innocent. I believe, no doubt about it, from what I've read. And you have a lot of good people behind you, Jason Moore. It's not just your sister and your wife and your mother and all those good people that love you and your friends. It's guys like Anthony that came on here, seen the story, seen the injustice. The other young man here that came in here and spoke facts and the truth. Respect to you too, young men. And I'm not scared to do this because it's the right thing to do. There's nothing wrong with this. You know what I mean? We need to free a kid that's done almost 10 years of something he didn't friggin' do. And this ain't just a family sticking up with their family member. Listen, people, I know this. When I was in prison, I wasn't bitching about doing my time. You know what I mean? I was like, I was thankful I got as short as time as I did. You know what I mean? 1 minute without your freedom is horrible. Never mind doing years. All right? Some people just ain't built for it. You know what I mean? But, guys like me and other people, we are built for that shit. Thank God I was built for that shit. But there's not anywhere I want to go anytime soon. I don't do nothing wrong. No more. I haven't done. That's why I told cops, I don't know, a year ago, when I turned 50, so 2 years ago, 2+ years ago, I said, you're like 26 years late, man. That was just under suspicion. All right? But the guy was a good detective. I give that guy a lot of credit. So, like I said, not all cops are bad. Not all prosecutors are bad. Not all judges are bad. Not all the law isn't bad. We need law and order. But people need to be held accountable. Like me, Anthony, we're held accountable for our actions, right? You need to be held accountable. You people that put innocent people in prison, you need to be held accountable. I'll say this right to your face. I'll say it in front of a judge, anybody. Doesn't matter. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And that's called humility. It's a huge character trait. You should try it sometime. The people will respect you more if you admitted you were wrong. And I think That is the truth. I'm like 99% sure that's the truth. Yeah, you might get some shit at the beginning, but a year, 2 after that, I think people will forgive you. I think people will actually root for you because you actually admitted you were wrong. And most politicians that never had power in their life, in real life, never do. It's a shame. And on that, we're going to end like that because cowards die 1,000 deaths. There's always karma in this world. Like she said, this could happen to anybody. Yes, it can. But the people that go in there to fight with them, like, I'm not worried. I'm worried about no repercussions. I'm not worried about that shit. And if something does happen, it's all for a good reason. To free a fucking free man. I'm not doing shit wrong. I'm just telling the truth. And I cry with those people when I read that poem. I really do. I cry for that man. And he deserves freedom. And that's coming from a guy that watches controlled violence every freaking week, loves fighting, loves boxing. I box myself. I would like to outbox anybody out there on social media. I'm 52 years old. I'll make you look silly in there. I promise you I would. In that ring, I'll make you look silly. Headgear, 16-ounce gloves. Let's go. And we'll do it to free Jason Moore. Do it to free Jason Moore. Thank you, the Moore family. Salute. I will be in touch. And every day I'll visit your group, Facebook group. Please, people out there that listen to this, please join the Free Jason Moore on Facebook, Twitter, like she said, Twitter. I think she said TikTok too, I guess, right? I think she said IG to Instagram. But Facebook does reach more people. I think it reaches a lot more people. So, and now Elon Musk bought Twitter, right? I think that's a good thing for everybody. Because people should be able to, express their opinions. Everyone has their own opinions on things. Listen, you agree to disagree in life, man. Some people ain't going to see things the way you see it. You know what I mean? But there is right and there's wrong. And we all know that. This comes from a person that did wrong when I was younger. I paid my debt to society. My probation officers, my parole officers, the judges, my lawyers that are now judges, my intensive probation officer that's now a judge, my other friend that was a lawyer that's now a judge. They all know I did the right thing. Even my business manager and my dead friends know. I wouldn't even tell them my dead friends. I wouldn't blame it on them. So this is coming from a man with courage and integrity and dignity and honor and self-respect and fearless. So I believe I'm the man for this job. And not interviewing people, having a brutally honest conversation for an hour or 2 or 3 or 4, whatever it takes, because people will learn from this. I know that Joe Rogan's podcast and Be Real from Cypress Hill, The Smoke Box, Mike Tyson's first 2 seasons of hot boxing with Eben Britton, I was inspired by those podcasts when I was coming off all those pain meds the first couple of years when it was really hard for me. It wasn't anything about urges. You don't see scars on my. I wasn't shooting drugs in my arm every single fucking day of my life, right? But I still feel for those people because basically I was doing the same exact thing. I was just crushing up the pills and sniffing them. And it got so expensive for those people, they had to go to the heroin and shoot it. You know what I mean? And they make heroin today where it's not even heroin. And you got to shoot it. There's no way you can sniff it, I guess. So a lot of people are dying out there because of that shit, people too. So don't look down on people like that. Offer them some hope. And you can't tell people to get sober. They got to want to get sober. So I'm never looking down on people that are messed up. I would never do that because I would be a hypocrite. I'm not justifying what I did. You know what I mean? But I was prescribed that medicine. You know what I mean? For 17 years. So I had all that medicine coming out of me. And I could only get it every 2 weeks because I was prescribed so much that I had to get it bi-weekly. They wouldn't fill that amount of medication every month for me. They would do it bi-weekly. So they probably thought 42, 30 oxycodones a day, 30 milligram oxycodones a day. After I was doing 8 oxycontins a day, the real ones, 8 oxycodones, 30 milligrams, 80 milligram oxycontins, 30 milligram oxycodones, and 2 milligrams antibars, 9 of them a day, then 12, 3 milligrams antibars a day. So all those together. And when they came out, the fake oxycontin, he put me on 40 to 30 oxycodones a day. Gave me 8 milligrams Dilaudid, 8 of those a day, 42 of the 30s a day. So that's 6 and 7 times a day, right? Doing that amount, 6 a day, 7 times a day, right? So I was sniffing them. So they would hit me right away instead of waiting for it to happen. So I was in a lot of pain. I just wanted instant pain, the edge off my pain, so I could go out and be go back, just keep working for my wife and kids. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. So you guys all know that story anyways. Jason Moore, you're a huge inspiration, kid. Anyone out there that's doing time that did nothing wrong, or the ones that did time and got out and smartened the fuck up, I look up to you guys too, because beating the odds, I love proving people wrong. And that's what you're doing, people. You're proving people wrong. You're proving the haters wrong, and people will hate. If people are online all day hating, they're the biggest losers on the planet, because they're hating on you for something they know they can't do. So don't care what people think. Don't care what people think out there, people, especially online. Don't care. Do not care what people think about you. Do what you need to do. As long as you know you're doing the right thing, it's not immoral. If you know you're doing the right thing, don't be scared to put yourself out there. You know what I mean? I'm not scared. I'm not trying to be fame. I don't want none of that fame. I just want to be able to talk to people, have really good conversations, and be brutally honest. And people learn from that by watching that. It's amazing what you can do. There's no commercials. There's no one telling me what to fucking say. It's a brutally honest conversation. So you heard a piece of what's going on with Jason Moore. Go to the free Jason Moore Facebook group page, and you will see. You will read the articles. You will read the truth, and you'll see the YouTube videos, everything. You'll see everything. And those great people over there trying to free their brother, their husband, their son. And I'm a soldier for those people. I will always be there for those people that were here today, and I'll always be here for you people. I just want you to know that if it's weak, I don't care what it is. I'll always make time for you. Jason Moore, I'm gonna go see a couple judge friends of mine this week, see what they could do, because they're always about helping good people, especially the innocent ones. Even the ones that ain't innocent, they've always been there to try to help those people. They're good people. And they already helped me with my stepfather, you know what I mean, who's harmless, who just wasn't smart enough he signed paperwork he should have never signed. But I love you all out there, people. It's one love to everyone out there. I don't care where you're from. It's where you're at. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely be proud where you're from, but it's where you're at in your heart and where you're at in your life. Don't be scared to take a chance out there in life, because don't have regrets at the end of your life. Go out there, and what you have a passion for, do it. And over time, it'll pay off for you, I promise. Thank you, Paul Paulman. Everyone that jumped in and out. I know most of my views come from after. Most of my views come from audio version on every podcast app. It'll be on Spotify in less than an hour from now. You know what I mean? And Apple Podcasts and iTunes, everywhere. It goes out to everywhere. So I am getting a lot of listens on from other countries. I want to shout out those countries. All of you. There's too many countries to shout out, but I will shout them out. This is what I'm getting right now. And guess what? I just added another country. And there's a shout out to Spotify and Anchor. They're the ones that are promoting my stuff. And I don't pay for them to do it. They do it for free. So here's my podcast. It alerts. Okay, so audience, check this out, people. United States, 79%, 10% of Germany, 5% of India, 5% of India, 2% of France, 1% of United Kingdom. Shout out to the UK, who I just talked to today, all of them. 1% Australia. Thank you, Kiwi, down there. Kiwi, my man from New Zealand, my partner, my buddy. The Netherlands. Thank you, Palman. 1%. 1% Russia. Thank you for my buddies out there in Russia. I hope you guys are all right out there, man. New Zealand, 1%. 1% Sweden. Portugal, 1%. Canada, 1%. Japan, 1%. Algeria, 1%. Shout out to all you people. Spotify, thank you so much. YouTube, thank you so much. StreamYard, thank you so much for not ever really messing with me. You know what I mean? I've never got a content strike. All the bands I promote, it's only because good music has helped me since I was a little kid. I had a tough growing up, right? Every night I listen to music and I go to bed looking at Jimi Hendrix on the ceiling. And I go to bed feeling good, you know what I mean? And music that just makes your hairs jump up on your body and makes your heart feel better. And you can relate to it, you know what I mean? Because you kind of live like that. You did live like that. I did. So that's what I relate to. Music with attitude and music with I don't give a fuck, right? Basically. But the women and children and the elderly out there, that's the people we're supposed to be helping. Like RZA says, Wu-Tang is for the children. Like Old Dirty Bastard said, Wu-Tang is for the children, right? It's all for the children. It's all for the generations that are now and their kids that are coming up. We're all trying to help those generations. That's what we're trying to do here. And join this fight. This is a good fight. If you want to challenge yourself, get involved with this. This is something for good. And be part of something good. You know what I mean? Shout out to John Cameron out there in England, UK. Wrote the Rocky Marciano biography. An Englishman over there. John Cameron, really good man. He's writing the second part of the biography. I think it's coming out. I know it's coming out this year. He's done a great job on it. Shout out to my man Travis Demko. His dream to be a champion in mixed martial arts. He's like 8-0 right now. Used to box with people I know. A kid holds mitts for him that I know. His cousins train me. You know what I mean? So Travis Demko doing a really good job out there. He's been on this podcast twice. Good kid. These are guys I'll never forget. All the people that have been on my podcast, all these people, I'll never forget you. When there's 1 million+ subscribers or whatever, or if it's 100,000, like I'll be happy. I'll be happy with 5,000, 10,000. You know what I mean? But I definitely need to hit that the 1,000 mark. You know what I mean? I definitely need to hit that mark so I can start making money doing this because I'm not making no money doing this. Yeah, I can. I'm making money with the audio version, but I haven't ever asked them to give me that money yet because it's not big enough to give me. I'm not looking for chump dollars, you know what I mean? I want, what I'm worth, you know what I mean? Everyone has a worth out there, you know what I mean? I believe that I can do a lot of good for people out there. And money's not even on my mind. It's like the fifth thing on my mind. But all our time is valuable, you know what I mean? So the more I do this, the better I'll get at this. And I'll just keep doing the rounds, you know what I mean? Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. For new fights that are coming up, fight cards, UFC, elite boxing, elite mixed martial arts, elite Muay Thai, ONE FC. Muay Thai never disappoints on Friday mornings here in America, East Coast time, 8:30 a.m. East Coast time. I highly recommend it if you're a fight fan. 8 limbs, the mixed martial art of 8 limbs, elbows, knees, head kicks, punches. I mean, it's insanity. It's inspiring to watch. It's really good to see the honor amongst them after the prayers they say before. It's pretty powerful. Like this poem from Jason Moore is very powerful. If that doesn't touch you a little bit, there's something wrong with you. I hate to say it. Just being honest. Brutally honest is what we're about here. The Moors, thank you so much. The two men there. We'll probably become friends here online, which is a good thing. Like I said, teamwork makes the dream work, and we're all here to help each other, people. The ones that are fighting the good fights out there, the ones that are bringing the truth. And you see me smoking weed, you cannot judge me. Because if you're drinking a fucking drink, you're a hypocrite. That shit's hurting your liver. Now, I know one drink of wine will thin out your blood and it won't hurt you. Anything in moderation ain't going to hurt you. But if you're sitting there pointing the finger at me and you're drinking and I'm smoking a joint, well, you definitely need to look at yourself in the mirror too, asshole. Because I know there's some out there. There's always haters. But here's the thing. I'm always going to be here, haters. And you're only going to make me greater all the time. You make me greater. You make me stronger. I train more than 2 hours a day now. It's like I want to fight fucking 10, 20, 30 people at a time. Like that's where you're going to have to come deep. You're going to have to come deep. You're going to literally have to put a fucking bullet in my head. You better hope I don't survive. God bless you all out there in the UK, my people from the UK over there. Oh, yeah, Gary Bando Sandwich. My man Gary over there in UK too. Always loyal. You know, I love these people. I love England people. I love people from England. I really do. They're very, even though we had wars with them in the civil wars and stuff like that, you know, I wasn't born in those wars. And I just love people in every country. I really do. I truly do. I know right from wrong. There's shitbags here and there's great people here. And the good outweigh the bad, believe it or not. And even the bad people, not all of them are bad. They're just products of their environment. You got to understand this, people. Unless you grew up like that, you can never understand. But try to understand. Put yourself in other people's shoes sometimes. That's what you need to do. Thank you very much, people, for listening and watching. Please share this. We got to free this man. This injustice has to stop. It has to stop. And it will stop eventually with courageous people. Because these people that are making these laws and making these mistakes and incompetence and, you know, cruelty basically to the human race, would get slapped in the mouth. You'd shell up like a little fucking little tiny little baby that is helpless. You'd be helpless. Where Jason Moore is right now. You'd be helpless. You wouldn't know what to do. Jason Moore, stay strong, my man. Keep your chin up. Keep your chin up. Keep your chin tucked in if you have to, you know what I mean? But keep your chin up. Be proud, my man, because you're an inspiration, even to me, brother. Even to a hardened man like me, you're an inspiration. You made me cry today. You made me cry this whole week. Every time I read things, I've cried. And there's nothing wrong